Yep, so our goal is to bankrupt the Ottomans. I don't want to take land. I guess, here's why. Strategically, if I were trying to, like, world conquest, I should cripple the Ottomans, take his land, you know, grow, win. But that's not what we're playing. We're playing because I want to get this achievement called Saladin's Legacy, which requires us to go south. The Ottomans are bastards who have betrayed me, so I'm going to murder them. And that's the only reason we're at war with him. He attacked me, and so our strategy then is going to be basically to... We're going to use this as like a teaching moment, I guess, if you want to consider it that. We're going to bankrupt them and break them in the most profound and painful way possible. And just show how that works. How to do it and why it works. Talk about how it works. And we're not going to take any land from him. We don't need his land, so let's not take it. Okay? Releasing Byzantium is fine, but that doesn't actually harm him. Because of a couple things. Number one, revanchism. We didn't talk about this at the end of the stream yesterday, but when you lose a war, you get two main benefits. Number one is you get revanchism, and number two is you lose war exhaustion relative to the percentage of the war score cost of your peace deal. So if you have a negative 100% peace deal, then you lose all of your war exhaustion. All right? And you also get a bunch of revanchism because you lost a war. But if you don't do that, then they don't get revanchism and they don't lose war exhaustion. So we can make him die. We don't need to spend Diplo points to release Byzantium. We just let Byzantium release themselves by destroying this country. Okay? Just trust me. You're gonna like it. All right, we can move into Canik. This is not protected by a zone of control, so let's just back off for a second, and we're gonna rotate into these two. We might start trying to siege down Sinop because it's a flat terrain fort. It's a little bit safer than trying to move into that fort right now. But his army is completely gone, which means either he's got rebels or he's got someone else that's like at war with him. The fact that there's no one else at war with him means that there could be rebels. I don't see any rebel occupation lines. But he's either regrouping or he's doing something. You know, there's a reason why we see no armies. He has... I thought that was his manpower at first. No, that's my manpower. He's got 80,000 manpower. He's still got plenty of, like, economic power. He's got 90 ducats a month still in income. He's still beating me on income. And he's kind of low on treasury. Has he taken loans yet, is the question. No loans. And I had to take one loan to hire my artillery at the start of the game. Start of the war. Because we're ahead of time on Miltech by 11 years, and this is an important war, I feel like this is definitely a time where it makes sense to barrage. So for 50 military points, we can immediately get 3 more siege status. We're not going to assault because that's expensive. This is going to be a huge, like, beacon for him to come and fight this location. So I'm trying to make sure that my army is very close to reinforcement range. Heretic regiments or lose missionary strength in... Yerevan. Yerevan's missionary strength is 54.9% done, and our speed is how much? 3.9. That's fine. Just convert something else. Austria wants access through me? Ah. It begins. This is your problem, Ottomans. You don't think. That's your problem. Let's have Georgia pay for stuff because his color is good. This changes everything really about my strategy of like what I can... How aggressively I can siege and stuff. Just the fact that he's been declared upon. Let's see, it's the Austrian conquest of Becky's. So Austria has a personal union over Hungary. and they are trying to reconquest. So that is, even though the player often feels like the AI like focuses on them, he is going to defend heavily against that. He'll always prioritize defending his own land over his offensive war. And I think that might be one of the reasons why the player usually feels like the AI picks on them, right? AI will be in a whole bunch of offensive wars, and then the player will attack him, and then get all surprised because the AI is like focusing them. No, they're defending. They want to defend. Although even I feel like sometimes they do focus on players. He has a 3631. Where has that general been this whole war? Heading over to Antiab. Wow, did we just get a 7% siege without doing a barrage? If yes, that's awesome. Now, if he's not careful, this army is just going to get stuck behind zone of control. If I occupy Isel, which I am going to barrage this one. I didn't barrage Ankara because I didn't feel like we needed to with the pressure he's getting from other countries. But this is a coastal fort, so -2. I can't blockade it. It's going to take a lot longer, so in this case, I feel like it's worth the barrage. And if this one falls, he will be stuck behind the zone of control of these forts, so then we can go murder that army, and it has no way of retreating. That's a lot of lost army tradition. Why must you do this? We're ahead of time on admin tech. I'm not willing to give up that much army tradition. No. 20 army tradition. I like my army tradition. Okay, that's a third fort. Okay, I'm trying to understand here. So he was just in Bozak. He entered the zone of control of this fort, which is projecting, even though it's in his own land, because it's all within one tag. His return province is here. You can always move to a... I guess, technically, if we had Bolu occupied, he wouldn't be able to go through. Oh well. Alright, stop it with the events. I'm trying to wage war here, damn it. Okay. It's an interesting decision. It's quite the Hail Mary. Yeah, that made no sense to me at all. What happened is that he just, like, attacked me in defensive terrain against 50,000 troops. Alright, so unfortunately we have Call for Peace, and this is common. So I've won by so much now that the game thinks that I should, like, be willing to peace out. But I don't want to peace out. Because if I peace out, then he loses war exhaustion if I take anything from him. Even if I just take money, he's going to lose war exhaustion. And I don't want to lose... I don't want to. I want him to get bankrupt. So, we have a few options. We could stall the war by, like, intentionally letting him win some battles, or let him get the war goal back or something. Or we could just eat the war exhaustion cost ourselves and just say that, fine, whatever, we'll pay Diplo points to kill a country. And for now, I'm going to go with that approach because we're Defender of the Faith. We can offset a little bit of the penalty. But I want to punish him. And he just doesn't have enough war exhaustion yet. We need to get more occupations for that to really get painful. You're going on the 13th. We'll be there on the 10th. Let's come in after the primary army's gone. So 12th, 18th, 19th. Most of the army's gone on the 12th. We come in on the 14th, pick off whatever's left. Maybe convince them to try to reinforce it. Probably not, because we should get a stack wipe before they can do anything about it. And then you are going to go start sieging down... Oh no, this is the fort. Fort's here. Stay here. Alright, that's not a bad event. I'll take more events like that. I need the missionary strength, so even though it's going to make me take a loan, let's just take a debt. Take a debt. Okay, we're just going to hold both straits. This one's defensive for him, but it's going to fall pretty quick because we did a barrage. We got it. Let's transfer that to Georgia. Now, we're never going to be able to get it across this, I think. We can try, but most likely his navy is just way too close. He's gonna be able to stop me every time. Ooh, hey, we got Islamic Center of Scholarly Learning. That's not common for us. Missionary Strength +1, tech cost -5, because we have got 6. You have to have like 5 Diplo skill. So that's good. That's good. He's 29. Our heir is, Say goodbye to our fearsome king. He did a good job. He was a good leader, too. Good military commander. And yeah, as expected, he's not going to let us cross. We could still get 9 more war score from battles. And call for peace is at 0.04. Kill the heir? We could. We could. He's slightly below average. And we have prestige. I do think that it's worth it. Yeah, he's not that great. If he was even like 1 point above average, I'd keep him, but he is below average. We could try to get military access through like Genoa and march around, but our primary goal again is bankrupt / kill Kebab. Kill Kebab like really, really well. So we don't really care to occupy more land. However, this is the stage where if you're doing this, if you're trying to like emulate this on your own at some point, just be aware that this is the stage where you need to stop trying to carpet siege. Because the enemy has 6.3 war exhaustion. If you look at provinces that he owns that are not occupied, don't look at provinces that you have occupied, because that's going to have your war exhaustion number, not his. In his provinces, he has -4.7 unrest right now. Soon, he's going to have positive unrest in every province in his country, which means lots of rebels, which means if you're trying to carpet siege, you will get sniped, get picked off by rebel stacks, which is bad. So you need to start consolidating down to just a couple primary stacks that are safe. We want taxes, legalism, or mysticism. I actually kind of want some more missionary strength right now, even though we're already kind of heading towards piety. This extra 2% missionary strength would be pretty handy right now. Alright, so we have maxed out ticking war score. He's got 6.8 war exhaustion. He's gaining, let's see what he gains the next month. So he's got 6.8. I'm currently gaining 0.06, which is not very much. It still sucks, but nice wall breach. So he's got 6.86, which becomes 7.09. So 6.86. And he has, again, I can't see with the calculator's in the way, 7.09 minus 6.86. He's getting 0.23. He's getting more war exhaustion per month than I am, so we'll just sit on it. That's a dead babby. That's what that is. We're actually slowly paying off our debt while we're in this war. War score cost versus other religions, ship trade power, merc discipline. Let's go with merc discipline. Yeah, admin points are kind of high, but we have more storage cap because we don't have printing press. I mean, we are taking war exhaustion from Call for Peace, which apparently got like reduced. I swear this was higher a second ago. But it's not a very, very significant amount. We did lose our stab. We need to buy that up again. It's true that Austria will reset it, but if we just wait long enough, eventually Austria may peace out ahead of us. And the main thing is we just want to get him to have rebels spawning everywhere. And also we want him to be bankrupt. Best way to force him into bankruptcy, though, is to occupy his entire country for so long that he has no income, and he's forced to take loan after loan after loan after loan. Right now he's only making 34 ducats a month now. And he's got 5 loans. Come on, man. Could you be any slower? Could you just occupy that province? Like, seriously. $10.4 war exhaustion for him now. Alright, unfortunately we cannot do Parliament because we've got ICTA, even though Parliament's one of my favorites. Next best is probably going to be... It's not 10% production efficiency. I mean, that is some money. 8.87 divided by 1.28 times 0.1. It's like 0.7 ducats a month. Probably the army tradition decay is the most important here, I think. I value absolutism very little. Can I go around the Black Sea? Yeah, I could. I've been thinking about it. I could get access through Genoa. We could just march around, but I just don't really want to. I think what we're actually going to do is just kind of back off a bit on even trying to do things, and we're just going to occupy... Let's just find the provinces that are not protected by zone of control and make sure that they get fully devastated. Military reform. Gain diplo points. I would almost always take the military points in this case, but military points are worth more than diplo points, but we're the most behind on dip, so I think I'll actually reform the navy. Which feels really weird. The reason why you usually want to take the army is because of the morale of armies bonus, which is just massive. For 10 years, you can have plus 20% morale of armies. It's huge. But, strictly speaking, we don't need it. We could use it to just murder the Timurids and murder the Mamluks. I think I am actually going to take the army, just so we can absolutely slaughter the people that we care about fighting. Alright, like truce-wise, I think we're already ready to attack. Yeah, that's Ajami Pretenders. Pretenders are just going to change who rules Ajam. I don't care. He's got a 3-4-4, they're going to install someone else. It makes no difference. There's no reason to fight that. We're going to take a loan, sadly. Who's the Mamluks at war with? Looks like Yemen. And it's a big war. I don't know why they're occupied up here. Maybe condottieri got rented or something? Okay, Call for Peace is up to 0.1 per month, so it is costing me a fair bit, but just diplo points. Killing the Ottoman is very pleasurable, so... No peace. You brought this upon yourself. It's happening. Ottoman particularists are starting to rise up. Ottoman particularists. We've got... rebels. Rebels. Great Horde separatists. Yes, particularists give them autonomy, which makes it so that even if they end up with, like they get to peace, and then they're able to, you know, try to right their ship a little bit, they're gonna have really, really high autonomy in their land, which makes it so they have no income, which makes them go bankrupt because of basically the same thing that happens to Lithuania. Lithuania used to go bankrupt a lot because they would have rebels in the southern half of their country and they had no forts. And the rebels would cause unrest, and they would, obviously, not unrest, they would raise autonomy, and then it'd be bad. This is really early for admin tech, but, you know, I don't really care. Another idea group would be great. We're paying a institution tech penalty. I mean, we could do development, try to develop the printing press, or we could just take tech now and get an idea group going. Both are acceptable options. We'll do a poll on it. Let's see, which province makes the most sense to actually develop? The burghers were loyal. Alright, fine. 2.6, 2.4. Alright, fine. Fine, you stupid burghers. You can have Constantinople. Enjoy it. Kazania is at 21 div cost, and we already have the edict on. It's already prosperous, and I think, yeah, I think we'll push this institution out. It's time for some printing press. That's 3 institutions developed. Check out that devastation. 31% in an area that has no zone of control. Like, it's gonna be a while. It's gonna take him a while to get that devastation back down. So now he just waits a little bit more and we watch the fireworks. Ottomans are sieging down Fars. There's some peasants. Remember how I said you gotta be careful at this stage because they could actually rebel on top of you? When I start seeing rebels like that is when I usually just leave the country. And because we're intentionally trying to murder him, we don't really care if the peasants steal the occupations from me. If anything, we want them to do it. So we're gonna transfer these forts back to me. We're gonna mothball them. Then we're gonna transfer them to Georgia. If you mothball it before you give it to a subject, the subject will not turn the mothballed fort on. Technically, we don't pay anything to have a mothballed occupied fort, but I still like to have the subject control it, just so that I can visually see where the forts are a little bit easier. So yeah, if you transfer a maintained fort to a subject, they'll keep it on, but if you turn it off and then give it to them, they will not turn it back on. So we want the peasants to take control of the forts. And our war exhaustion is starting to grow by quite a bit each month, but I'm willing to pay for it for a little bit longer. The other reason why we want the forts to be controlled by the peasants is that if they take control enough of the land, we lose war score. We don't actually need war score. And if the war score goes down low enough, we'll stop having call for peace. And then we can just stay in the war forever. Are they bankrupt yet? I haven't seen a pop-up about it. They currently have 8 loans. They only have 4 income. 4. So, they're gonna be bankrupt real soon. They should be. Allowing his army to live is actually a good thing, because it makes him spend more of his money. can reset call for peace by sending a peace offer that gets rejected. Oh, really? Does that actually work even though... Huh. Hold on. Hold on. That's actually quite remarkable. 5,223 hours. And I've just learned something new. I did not know that worked against the AI. I assumed that it wouldn't. Demanding a province that we don't have control of resets call for peace. That is really, really useful. Thank you.